Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at how can you attract more financial abundance in your life. And the reason I chose three piles for you here today is because I wanted to put into this reading the energy of the Three of Pentacles, of taking action, co-creation, working, making things happen. And the reason I chose an Easter theme here is to give you the energy of Easter, because Easter is originally an ancient Egyptian festival dating back to 2700 BC, and much like Easter, it also dealt with the notion of creation and renewal. In Coptic Egyptian language, it was called Chum Ni Sim, which meant garden meadows, or as the ancient Egyptians called it, Feast of Shmo, the revival of life. And that is exactly the energy I intended to set out for you here today, so that as you gain the knowledge of from the cards and from the spiritual world of what you need to do to attract more financial abundance, you get this strong energy, strong ancient energy with you as you listen to it. All right, so for your piles today, you have for pile number 1, the Easter egg. For pile number 2, the Easter rabbit. And for pile number 3, the Easter egg. Take a look at which of these three piles you're the most drawn to, and that's probably the pile for you here today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, you know that there are messages there for you. Trust your intuition. Take a look at it as well. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times, and I'll see you in your readings. Hi, pile number 1. So you've chosen this beautiful Easter basket. Let's put it in here for you. In fact, I'm going to put it here in the key of life, the Ankh, to give it some wholeness. Right. So first of all, let's pick out a stone for you, a crystal, to set the energy for this reading. See what it's all about. See what you need to do. So we have, desert rose, right. Okay. That comes up a lot in my readings. Really weird. All right. So you have the desert rose. Let me pick out an oracle card first before we get into the tarot. Okay, so how can pile number 1 attract more financial abundance? Interesting. Bell. Can you see that? Let me push this a little bit up. That fits up there. Right? Okay. Now let me get into the tarot. So we'll use the Light Seer's tarot, and then we'll clarify with the Osho tarot. Let's take this beautiful feather aside for now. Right. So what can pile number 1 do to attract more financial abundance? How can pile number 1 attract more financial abundance? Okay, so you have Chariot, interesting as the first card that pops out. So you need to take action. We'll see now more information. Right, I mean, the bell, the chariot, a lot of movement needs to happen, a lot of bringing it out into existence, ringing it into existence. Hello, I'm here, kind of thing. So you need to take it out. It looks like it has been, this idea has brimming for so long in your head. You've crafted your skill really well over the years, just like the desert rose here. And I think you're now ready to take your skills out into the universe. Let it serve you and serve others. You have the Queen of Wands. Let's put all of the cards together. But again, energy, the same purple, orange energy. Light everywhere. The Tower. Very interesting. It's going to have a striking effect on everyone. You better believe that. So your reading is actually starting off with you having an idea. You know what you're supposed to do. That's interesting. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Listen, pile number 1. Whatever idea that you have in your head at the moment, because this is where your reading is starting off, it's going to create a lot of abundance and fortune for you. The minute you start, you are going to be really surprised with the amount of effect it's going to have on people, how many followers you're going to have. Do you see how clear your cards are? And it's just going to shock you and everyone, because whatever product you're doing, service, idea you're letting out into the world, it's really going to bring abundance for yourself, a lot of fortune. It's going to move your life really forward. And at the same time, it's going to transform others, because you have a lot of butterflies here. Again, the rabbit, it signifies good fortune. And we were just talking about Easter, and you get the rabbit. So this is a really good festive time for you, where you're actually going to create something. Remember when we said what Easter was all about? Creation and renewal. So there's a huge renewal energy in your life that is suddenly going to happen as a result of you mastering or reading a lot about it, and having great skills in one area. And you've had this idea brimming in your head for such a long time. Do you see how long this flower is, and the sun is shining or rising, meaning that it's time for you to take action on this idea. Sitting around doing nothing is not going to serve you anymore. And trust that if you start taking action, pile number 1, it's going to bring you a lot of good luck and fortune. Every single card is saying the same thing for you, pile number 1. I mean, I don't even need to get clarification cards, but I am, of course, going to get you some clarification cards, because we need to get more information about this. Why aren't you taking action? How can you start taking action? And maybe you already know you should take action. So now we need to help you attract this financial abundance. Okay. And that's why clarification cards is going to put the whole picture for us together. Projections. Interesting. I see. Completion. Okay. Beyond illusion. I see now. See, clarification cards are very important. And inner voice. Now this makes so much sense, pile number 1. So listen, pile number 1. So the reason you have the desert rose, as I see from your clarification cards, is not just because you were building skills. Mind you, you have built a lot of skills, you've read a lot, and you are definitely now more than ready to voice out what you have learned and what you've been thinking about. But I see clearly here from your clarification cards, the reason you haven't started, pile number 1, is because you're really afraid of how other people are going to perceive you, even though your cards clearly show that you're going to have a lot of followers or a lot of customers that are really going to benefit from you. Do you see these little candles? I bet you this candle there is here for you. Even maybe I will be your follower, pile number 1. You're going to have a great effect. You know it. You know it. You have the bell. The bell card is a card that summons energy. You know, it marks beginnings and endings, and it suggests that something important is going to be spoken out. It's all about, so it's a card about throat chakra. And so you have to speak out this idea that you have into existence. And the reason you're not doing this, even though it's obviously going to have a striking effect on everyone, it's going to bring you a lot of abundance and fortune, is because you are kind of afraid of other people's opinions, pile number 1. You are projecting your fears onto the criticism that will come to you. And here the advice in the cards are, first of all, you will be greatly blessed. You will be greatly seen as someone who is amazing, someone who is trustworthy, and you will be highly spoken of. So that's first of all. But second of all, pile number one, you need to work on these projections, because I think you need to learn that there will always be people who speak negatively. They speak negatively about the best people in the world. God is even criticized. The universe, money and abundance, happiness, everything, you name it. And it's not something that's going to be only pertaining to you. It happens to everyone. Pile number one. It happens to everyone. So you're not the only one. Pile number one. You need to let go of this idea. Acceptance. Accept that criticism is coming. Take the criticism that benefits you and simply push out the ones that are not serving you. Move away from them, because this energy is hindering you. Realize that you're not perfect, but the world doesn't need you perfect. Pile number one. You don't need to be perfect in order to serve the world. Otherwise, how would we have grown from the very beginning in the ancient world? We all started from nothing, with basically most of the ideas going wrong for us, but we still tried and we grew. And so you don't need to be perfect. And believe me, a lot of the people in this day and age that are speaking and that have always spoken have said things that were right and things that were wrong. And that's why we're progressing, right? So no, take out this idea that the person who does something has to have the complete, ultimate, perfect picture in order to serve others, but rather serve others with what you have and grow with your audience, grow with your customers. Take the feedback and apply it instead of being hurt by it. So don't label yourself as the expert who does everything right, the person who's going to bring out the product that is not wrong by any means, and start accepting and building this credibility with your customers or your audience that you are growing with them. You're not here to fool them, but you're growing with them, and you've had a lot of experience over the years, a lot of your readings, a lot of your knowledge, a lot of your experience, that is really going to benefit them. And the audience that, or the customers that do shame you, just simply let them go. Pile number one. Are they so important that they're going to hold you back forever when you obviously are meant to shine? Let me give you a quick hint about how it is clear to me that you're meant to shine. Did you know, pile number one, that the chariot was actually the means of transportation in the past? That's why it's in the tarot cards. And if we had a modern tarot card, it would probably be the car. But here's the interesting thing about the chariot, that before, not everyone was privileged to have the chariot, pile number one. And it was a great revolutionary item, because during the wars, while other soldiers had to fight, handle their horses, move them around, so they had a lot of things to handle at the same time. People who had chariots were quite lucky, because one person can focus solely on fighting the soldiers in front of them, fighting during the war, and another one only had to focus on the horses and the direction in which they wanted to go. And so it was such a privilege to have. And it was a means of transportation for the really wealthy people who can afford it back then, because it was very expensive to have a horse and a chariot along with it. So what I see here for you, pile number one, is that you're very unique, you're very blessed. You have something amazing that is going to push you forward light years ahead of most of the people around you, if not all of the people around you. You're going to grow exponentially. Do you see how big you are in comparison to all the people that believe in you. Meaning that even if you believe you don't have the complete picture, your product or your service will really be helping out everyone else. You'll be surprised by how much you're going to be respected, by how much fortune is going to create for you, how much expansion it's going to cause. And the reason I say expansion is because the bell is all about fortune and noise, noise, ringing noise. The sort of noise that everyone can hear, ding, 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 just like the church bell on Sunday. Everyone can hear. So it looks like it's going to be quite popular, or you are going to be quite popular. You're going to have a lot of customers or followers who believe in what you do. And pile number one, it's really going to transform your life. So your advice to moving forward, pile number one, is to change this inner voice in you. It's all about speaking to yourself in a healthy way. We all get bombarded with fearful thoughts. That happens to every single person on the planet. And your advice here is to do two things. Remember that courage is to move forward and do what you need to do, even if you're scared. So that's advice number one. Advice number two is, because everyone gets fearful thoughts, the healthier way to deal with these triggers is to first acknowledge them, but to move them away. Say, no, I'm not accepting triggers. I will be okay. I will take the feedback, and my self-worth is not reliant on those who criticize me, on those who don't like me, because these people, they criticize everyone. Or criticism happens to everyone, not just to me. And so I can see here that you're a very, very unique person, pile number one. If you Google the desert rose, I always say this because I believe it's a very, very special and beautiful stone. You'll be surprised by how beautiful it looks. And it's a stone that has been carved. Its petals have been carved over and over throughout the years until now we've seen this beautiful stone. And so even if you've been through a lot of pressure, a lot of bad mouthing maybe in the past, negative criticism that is now holding you back, remember, it's that kind of pressure that builds this beautiful personality that you have now, this resilience, this strength. And I promise you, pile number one, I promise you, you are going to go through it and you are going to be very successful. So with your pile, it's very clear that you have an idea. Pile number one, I truly advise you to go ahead with it. All the best of luck, and if you've made it this far, please leave me a present emoji, because you are a gift to all of us. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number two. So let's first take out a crystal to see the energy of your reading as a whole. All right, let's quickly pick out a crystal for you so we can get an idea about what is going on. All right. You have two. I'm going to take them. You have the pyrite and the hematite. All right, interesting reading already. So let me put this one here and this one over here. Right, now let's take out your tarot cards so that we understand this as a whole. No, first I'm going to take an oracle card, because again, it's going to show us a complete picture of what's going on here. It's really interesting that you got two stones here. Two stones right away reminds me of, before we get into the energies of these stones, reminds me of two of coins or two of pentacles. And you might be thinking or balancing between two things that are weighing you down. Let's see more about that in a moment. Ooh, the lady, interesting. Right. So let's take out your tarot cards. Okay. So how can pile number 2 attract more financial abundance? Let's go one more time. How can pile number 2 attract more financial abundance? Right. Again, juggling between two things. Something that you love and something that you believe you must do rationally. We'll get into that now. So you have the 7 of Swords. Okay. I see now. You have the King of Wands. You have the 5 of Pentacles, right? I see now. You have Judgment. Okay, I see now. Let's get your clarification cards. Oh my God, you are so full of secrets, pile number 2. Yet you are very strong. You're full of secrets, pile number 2, because you have a lot of, you honor yourself. You have a lot of self-respect for yourself. And that's what makes you a private person. We'll get into that now. So you have possibilities. Actually, I wanted to put it here. I'm going to leave it. Possibilities. Doesn't have to go the same way in every pile. You have adventure. You have morality. And you have suppression. Suppression and release. Really interesting. So pile number 1, your reading is really interesting here. I see that you keep a lot of secrets, my friend. You don't keep a lot of secrets because you're a bad person. You actually keep a lot of secrets because you're a wonderful person. Here's why. You might be going through some financial burdens at the moment that are keeping you stuck. Yet you try to never show anyone that you are going through this financial pressure. Because the raven is the keeper of secrets, and I see a lot of black feathers coming out. So as much as you try to hide it, I think it sometimes screams in your face because it's putting a lot of pressure on you, this kind of hiding. And it goes along with the pyrite, because pyrite, they call it the fool's gold. And the reason they call it the fool's gold is because people think it's gold in the very beginning. So here I see you showing everyone that you are okay, that nothing is going wrong, and you're handling all this pressure all by yourself. You obviously have a lot of strength. You do it with a lot of self-dignity, and that's wonderful. But it's taking a toll on you here, because now it's time for you to take action. And pile number 1, you have been from the very beginning, like we talked, balancing between two things. Something that, like the hematite, is strong, something that you must do, that's taking its toll on you, and something that you enjoy and dream of. So either you're handling two things, or you're thinking between two things. Staying where you are, because it gives you stability, just like the hematite, or going after what you love, but maybe feeling that you could be a fool. Same message here. And right now you're kind of feeling stuck because you logically think that this is the right place for you, where deep in your heart you really want to go the other route. Pile number 2. You want to free yourself from being so stuck. Do you see how many cards show that you're so stuck? Pile number 2. You're worried about exploring this possibility and ending up in the abyss, in the desert, where nothing is found. Being courageous and strong for leaving behind what you need to, what's screaming out for you to change, but then finding yourself in the middle of nowhere. So the advice that is actually present for you in the cards, pile number 2, is to, instead of juggling both in your mind, actually take them into the real world, into the physical, and juggle them in real life. And that has to be done very slowly, pile number 2, in a way that would make sense to you. So you don't need to see, for the moment, great results, because accept that you're going to be taking small actions and seeing small results in the beginning in the area that you are really dreaming about, instead of letting one go and pursuing the other. So you should be taking small steps, and remember, little by little, a little becomes a lot. I love this African proverb, and ever since I heard it, I wrote it down in my journal, and it's something that I see every day. So I think you need to be reminded that it's all about patience, the virtue of patience, pile number 2, that it's all about taking small steps every day in the area that you want, in order for you to give it energy and for it to prosper into real gold in the future, pile number 2. Because if you don't, you're really going to be suppressing yourself greatly. You feel stuck. Why stay stuck, pile number 2? I do not see you needing to leave behind what is strongly giving you stability at the moment. And yes, you might end up thinking you're going to an adventure and getting into the middle of nowhere. So it's not one or the other, pile number 2. And let's talk about the lady a little bit. The lady is another term for the high priestess. So she's all-knowing, and you know deep inside you, it's been screaming out for you, pile number 2, that you need to take action on what you really love. Stop staring at it, for God's sakes, pile number 2. I know you have a lot of worries, but you are quite powerful, more than you think, and you have the capability of doing it and pursuing both of them at the same time, slowly. Because the high priestess, she represents the energies of the goddess in sacred ceremonies. And ritually, she embodies the character and the quality of a chosen deity when magic is being made. So if you remember, if you've been a follower of this channel, you remember the high priestess coming up a lot in the cards. And I always told you that he was always the one that stood by the high priestess during ceremonies. And so she is the one where her presence complements that of the high priestess, pile number 2. So together they watch, protect, and guide what happens in the circle. Now, why did I get into that? I just want to tell you that you are very strong because you have the energy of the high priestess. And let me remind you that even the high priest stands in complementary to the high priestess, whether you're a man or a woman. That's your energy here. And so you are the main character of your life. You're stronger than you think you are. You have the King of Wands here, emphasizing that you can do it. Remember that yes, you can. Yes, you can, pile number 2. Yes, you can. And you can juggle both ideas at the same time. And don't sit stuck here. Your heart is screaming out to you secretly. You're not telling anyone. You have a lot of strength inside of you that you're not using. And it's time for you to start exploring this side of you. And it's time for you to finally relief this being stuck and enjoying being stuck everywhere here, and start enjoying what you love, pile number 2. And you've clicked on this reading because here we tell you you're going to move from the energy of holding on to your money and being stuck with what you have and trying to make it work, to extreme abundance once you work little by little on this project that you have, or passion project that you have in mind, going solo maybe. Pile number 2. Listen, I've just noticed for the first time in this card that the fire forms a crown. Do you see? Just like the gold. You are going to be the queen of your world, or the king of your world, pile number 2. You're going to make it happen. Have faith in yourself. You're the high priestess. And I really wish you all the best of luck. It's just about juggling things properly. And if you've made it this far, please leave me a sun emoji because of the pyrite stone. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 3. So you've chosen this beautiful Easter egg. All right. Now let's put it here so that it creates a wholesome reading for you, just like the Ankh. All right, let me first actually take out a crystal for you. And oh, it popped right out, the fluorite. Really, really interesting. Fluorite is about following your spiritual path. How fitting is that? What? I'm mind blown. I'm sorry. Okay, let's keep the stone here for a while. That's an exciting reading already. Pile number 3. Let me take out an oracle card for you and see what this is all about. So how can pile number 3 attract more financial abundance? Wow, I mean, I'm mind blown. What a fitting stone in this reading. Okay. How can pile number 3 attract more financial abundance? The horn god. Wow. Now this must be my most special pile. What is going on? You have a mission here, pile number 3. You have a legacy to create, a life mission with the horn god here. That is one of the most, if not the most powerful deity. You are here on a mission to create some sort of balance in the world, bring light into some dark area, and you have all the tools necessary to do it. Pile number 3. So that's first of all, before we even continue the reading. So first, let me take out your tarot cards and see how can pile number 3 attract more financial abundance. How can pile number 3 create more financial abundance? You have the life force, pile number 3 and 3. If you've been seeing a lot of 3 that's one strong confirmation here for you that this is your reading, first of all. Second of all, if you haven't, this still fits for you. This is just a confirmation. This means that, let me tell you first what 3 means. 3 is the smallest number that you need to create a pattern. And if you have 3, it seems to me that you're more than ready to pursue what you need to go after. You have all the skills necessary. You're going to be supported left and right and center in order to help you out with this legacy or this life mission that you have. There's a tree here. It's like you're supposed to do it. It was written for you, pile number 3, to do this. Written in the stars. Interesting. Let's see. Four of Pentacles. Interesting. You have the Moon. You have Knight of Pentacles, right? You have Three of Cups. Interesting. See how there's a lot of purple and greens, just like your fluorite. Pile number 3. I can't believe all the threes I'm saying. You are ready, my friend. You are ready. 3 of Cups. Do you see? I cannot believe your threes. So what can pile number 3, or how can pile number 3 attract more financial abundance? These are your clarification cards. You have Thunderbolt under 3 of Cups. That's the Tower card. You have Patience right under the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest moving knight in the deck. Patience. Now that's a very clear message here. Breakthrough again. It's like, wow. So you have the Thunderbolt and breakthrough. A lot of big effects. Of course, it's your life mission. You were created to come and do this. You have a lot of power and good luck with you. And you're effortlessly going to create a lot of change and breakthroughs around the world. Obviously, your cards are clear. I could not be making this up for you, and I would never. And you have Patience here. It's like it's going to take you time to build this mission bit by bit. Time. So be patient here, pile number 3. It's going to come into fruition. You need to be working on it bit by bit. But it's going to take time. It will bring you a lot of finances from the very beginning, because this is, after all, a reading about how to attract more finances. But you still need to be patient, because the world needs you to go through this cycle, to mother this idea, or maybe mother the planet. We don't know. You're helping out the whole planet somehow. Pile number 3. Receptivity. So obviously you are meant to do this. You're downloading this information, and if you feel like you understand things quite easily, especially in your field, if you feel like you very easily connect the picture together from different fields, different areas, it's because you are meant to create a certain mission on the planet. It's in your DNA, your ancestral DNA, to rise and help us all rise with you. Pile number 3. Now let's take a closer look in your cards into why you're not doing this, or whether you're already doing it or not, and how can you start doing it and create more financial abundance. So pile number 3, I see a couple of problems here, serious problems, about why you haven't started this humongous mission that you have here in your hands. They seem big, but they're actually very small. But since you've gotten yourself way deep down into them, they've become big. I see, first of all, lack of organization and self-discipline here. Perhaps your routine is not very well adjusted, your sleeping patterns of day and night. There's just lack of organization, especially because fluorite is all about organizing yourself, creating lists, creating a routine. It helps you with all of that. So that's the first problem that I see. Second problem that I clearly see is you holding yourself back because maybe you're scared. You're too much into your emotions, pile number 3. Too much deep into your emotions, and you're very worried about your resources, criticism maybe. You're worried about a lot of things, so you're really deep into your emotions. Another thing you're worried about here that I clearly see, so that's one first worry here before we talk about the advantage. I see another type of worry here. I think you might be too dependent on the world giving you a kind push, or helping you out, or friends helping you out, or family helping you out. You're just too stuck on this idea, if I can just have this push. And while I wish you would, pile number 3, maybe you will, maybe you are supported, or maybe not. Whether you're supported or not, pile number 3, you have the horned god energy. That is one of the strongest deities in all of the deities, pile number 3. You have everything it takes to go through this. And if you don't let go of your fears and start taking actions by yourself, you're going to miss out on creating a legacy, pile number 3, that you're clearly able to do. And it's going to create a breakthrough. And again, just like pile number 2, you have the tower. It's like you're going to create this thunder striking moment around the world with whatever product or service or words you have to tell all of us, pile number 3. So you shouldn't be waiting anymore. You should really start organizing yourself, list down what you need to do, and tackle that list every single day, pile number 3. Do not wait any longer. Don't keep yourself sad, pile number 3. Move towards what you dream and believe in. Don't hang around there, because it's going to keep you really sad. Remember, if you have a life mission, if you're not working towards it, the result is extreme sadness here. And with the Knight of Pentacles, along with the patience, which we have noticed right from the beginning, pile number 3, this means that you need to take things slowly. Don't rush into having all the financial wealth and the fame and this thunderbolt moment breakthrough in the world. Do it little by little so that you can grow gracefully and have more confidence in what you're doing, instead of holding on and not doing anything at all. So rather than sitting there and not doing anything and having this deity power and not doing anything about it, how about just like the phases of the moon, and the Knight of Pentacles, of course, you take one step at a time to do whatever you need to do. Pick up the phone and get more information. Start opening up a page, for example, or start writing something, whatever it is. Just take tiny steps, but make sure that you are consistent with your steps every single day, pile number 3, because everything that you do will have a threefold effect result. Remember when we talked about the 3s in the beginning? You have the triskelion here, and that's exactly what the symbol means. You put out something and you get threefolds back. So make use of this energy. And I see here, I mean, this is a timeless reading, of course, but if you're watching this now, this is about the moon in Gemini, and it also reminds me of the solar eclipse. So again, you're supported, very, very much supported by these energies these days. So make use of them and start taking action, pile number 3. That's all. That's all really that you need to do to attract your financial abundance. It's by being organized. Start creating a routine slowly. Don't be disappointed in yourself when it doesn't happen, because routines and being self-disciplined and taking action towards things almost never go smoothly in the beginning. Just be persistent about it. When it doesn't work, slowly and calmly, without blaming yourself, go back and start creating little by little. And again, I'm going to tell you my favorite African proverb that I've heard. It says, little by little, a little becomes a lot. And the more plants you seed these days, the more it's going to help you become this leader. Do you see how in this card, the Knight of Pentacles, pile number 3, is different? This knight is off the horse, taking the lead. Even the horse is following him. And you see a person that feels this personal power because you have the horned god or the horned deity's power. And if you start planting these little seeds in a short span of time, you'll find yourself back into this leader, authoritative energy that you always have, of course. And you're going to lead your mission behind you. And you're going to feel strong again. You're simply going to do it, pile number 3. So don't stick around there waiting with all these skills that you have, doing nothing, because you have a great mission that popped right out into your reading that you're supposed to create in this world, pile number 3. Pile number 3, I just noticed something about this card that I've never noticed before. Do you see the rune here that she's wearing? It's all about heritage. And this reminds me of a story of when I was a little girl that goes hand in hand with your mission, pile number 2, as the message of your reading. When I was a little girl, my grandmother told me, I want to tell you something, and I want you to hold it in your ear, just like you wear your earrings. And I said to my grandmother, what does that mean? She said, don't you wear your earrings every day? And I said, yes. And she said, I want you to hold on to what I'm going to tell you all your life, just like the earring that you're wearing. Ooh. She said, you are the most person I love in my life. And I was actually 4 when she told me that. And I never forgot it, pile number 4. And here in this reading, you're meant to hear it too, pile number 4. You have a legacy, you're loved, and you're meant to do it. And you're meant to hear it and keep it in your ears. You clicked on this reading, pile number 3, just for this message. Remember that you're meant for this, and you will be greatly supported to do it, pile number 3. So it's your time. It's your time to rise. Remember this message. It was meant for you. And it's time that you believe in your power. Get back up and start working on this legacy that you have, because it's going to create a lot of breakthroughs and abundance for you, pile number 3. Pile number 3, it was my honor doing this reading for you. You're a very special pile because I've shared something so dear to me that I haven't shared before. And if you've made it this far, please leave a moon emoji so that I know you made it this far. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye!